We play and call it work.
Hey everybody, Matthew here from MiniWarGaming.com, and welcome to this week's Sit and Talk. I feel like it's been forever since I've made a video. We've been filming our Blue Collar Heresy, but it's January, 4th today? And you'll see this January 5th, but I was looking at it, and the last thing on my camera was from December 5th. So I need to get back into filming. December was just crazy with a lot of different projects going on, and then I took a couple weeks off for Christmas, and so this is my first real day back at work today. And so it's nice to be back, getting organized for 2018. Very, very, very excited for it and all the ideas that we have. We want to make 2018 the best year yet for MiniWarGaming. And hold on, this camera is not level and it's going to really bother me. So I'm just going to, you can tell because of the white line in the background. So I'm just going to do this live. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to get it perfect. No. Oh well, life goes on. Really excited for 2018. Got lots of ideas of how we're going to push the envelope for quality of our content and the stuff that we put out, and so I'm really looking forward to that. Hopefully you are too. And yeah, it's been a while. I feel like it's been forever since I've done a sit and talk, and so I've got a few pages of comments here, questions here that I will answer. And if you're new to the sit and talk, this is a show where we just kind of answer any questions that our users submit on our website. If you're watching this on YouTube, there'll be a link in the description below to go and leave a comment there for next week's, which is Josh
and Lee.
And so if you want to leave any questions for Josh
and Lee,
leave them in the comments below. That's why comments are disabled if you're watching this on YouTube. Not because we don't want comments, but because we want them on our site, because it's easier for us to organize them and print them off. And then I'll do this for about half an hour. Need a timer. And after that, then we'll do another half an hour, or until I run out of questions for our Vault members as well, whichever comes first. Let me just set, and away we go. So let's just jump right into this. Buckaroo13 says, Matt, can you guys bring back rules you got wrong? It is very helpful as a learning tool. Thanks. It is on my list. I can't say for sure when or if it'll be brought back, just because the logistics of what we've been trying to film, and with the schedule's been a little hectic. But it is something that we're thinking of. I know that we still get rules wrong, and I think that'll always be an issue for anybody doing battle reports. I say it time and time again. I think that we should do our best to minimize the number of rules mistakes, but it's going to be impossible to do 100% without any rules mistakes, just because of the complexity of the games, and in the moment you can get things wrong. So it is just what it is. But the rules you got wrong was a useful segment because it allowed us to learn the rules even better, and it also gave feedback, because sometimes people think that we got things wrong and we didn't, so it's a good communication tool that way too. So we'll see. The Danish Viking Alex. Matt, I forgot to ask in my other post, will there be a review video about chapter approved? There's no plans for one, just because now it's old news, so I don't think so. And when will the first episodes of Blue Collar Heresy be released? Well, to our backers, they've already started to be released. We've already filmed the first 3 episodes, having a lot of fun. Stories were really fun to do. And those were released to our backers that contribute at least $20. We're not going to actually start releasing them to the public until we're either totally done filming all of them or mostly done. So I'm thinking you're probably looking at late February or March, but there's nothing 100% concrete yet. So we'll see. We haven't started to really edit them yet. We've only just got them ready enough for our backers, but there's still a lot more stuff that we want to add to them. And we're just getting back from the Christmas holidays. We were supposed to film another episode yesterday, but there was like 3 sicknesses. And so we're hopefully going to do a couple episodes next week to get back on track. How many episodes in total, I'm not even sure. I think we're shooting for somewhere between, like next week will be episodes 4 and 5. We'll kind of see where the story is. I want it to be minimum 6 episodes, but I'm guessing it'll probably end up being more like 8 to 10. But yeah, so we'll see where that goes. WB Freak 54. Matt, I really enjoyed the Path to Glory hobby series. Yeah, it was really well done. Is that something you would be interested in participating in? If not, why, other than time? Not really. Time is one of it, but I just don't like painting. I really don't like painting. I've never liked it. I tried. I painted over 1,000 models at the beginning of my miniature wargaming career. I painted Lord of the Rings models. I painted 40K models, Tyrannids and Necrons and Space Marines. I've painted some War Machine models, Kador, I've painted, just all sorts of stuff. And after that many models, I still did not like it. Like, I got better at it than at the beginning. I didn't get great at it at all, but it's just not my thing. I don't have the patience for it. I just don't have the natural aptitude for that, and so I don't enjoy it. I very much enjoy collecting and playing and doing all the other stuff, the creating of narrative campaigns and that around it. And I do not lose any satisfaction from having somebody else paint my army for me, whereas I know some other people would. And so getting into the Path to Glory hobby series, that's all focused on building and painting your models, I'm just really not interested in that at all. Just don't have time or desire. So I'm one of those people who focuses on that aspect, of like the gaming, collecting, story aspect of the hobby rather than the painting aspect. So I totally get that some people like the opposite and that they wouldn't want to play with models that they didn't paint, and that's fine. Everybody has their preference. I love most of what you do. I hate most. And I hope you keep on dancing. Thank you. Thank you very much. Chozon1, Matthew, hello and belated Merry Christmas. Thank you, and Happy New Year too. I am the happy owner of a brand new Tiernan Army, albeit a very small one. I have the Start Collecting set, Gene Stealers, Trigun, and a Broodlord, as well as another 15 or so Gene Stealers and a Broodlord that I had from Space Hulk. Any suggestions on where to go from here? From the viewpoint of wanting a fairly solid small points list. I want some Zoanthropes, actually I want everything, but I feel like I need more bodies in the vein of Termagants and Hormagaunts for glory and to bacon. Well, the thing is, with the new Tyrannid Codex, a lot of stuff is much more viable than before. Before I would totally agree. I'd be like, yeah, you need to flesh it out with lots of Termagants and Hormagaunts, but you can totally play without them with the new book. And you totally can play with them as well. You already got, looks like, what is that, 30 Gene Stealers, 2 Broodlords, and a Trigon. So you've got some bodies with the Gene Stealers, you got the Broodlords to buff them, and you got the Trigon to kind of do some interesting things. Yeah, Hormagaunts and Termagants are great. If you're going to do Termagants, make sure you get a Tervagon as well, just so you can kind of maximize what they do. Not that you have to bring a Tervagon whenever you bring Termagants, but they're just a good pairing. I think what I would recommend you do is go back and watch my Tyrannid review of the new Codex, because what I do, I think in the free or the Vault video, I can't remember, but you're a Vault member so you can see either of them, is I actually break it up into these areas of like, here's 500 points, here's 500 points, here's 500 points, like that kind of thing. And so you can kind of look at those as your basis for different kinds of armies. You can do it however you want, of course, but those chunks work really well with a new, actually I think, oh no, it was my Tyrannid faction focus. That's what it was. It wasn't, or was it the new Tyrannid review? I don't remember. So much has happened in the past few months. But look either at the Tyrannid faction focus or the new Tyrannid review. I think, no, it was the Tyrannid faction focus when 8th edition first came out. But that still holds. The way that I have it organized still 95% holds for how you'd organize it. It's just that a lot of things have become better. Like, if you want to build a dirty list, or I don't know if I'd say dirty, but pretty powerful, you could focus on bringing lots of Zoanthropes, bring them in groups of 4, and then they can smite away. Although I know that, was it the new chapter approved? Somewhere in there that smite is getting less effective. I don't remember. I've got a lot to catch up on. I feel like my brain is empty and needs to be filled back up. But there's a lot of ways you can do it. Tervagon with Termagants, you can get some Zoanthropes. You could get Warriors and Hormagaunts. Hormagaunts are really useful, especially because you already have a Trigon. The Trigon can bring Hormagaunts up. Obviously things like the Hive Tyrant or Swarmlord, now that's getting a little more points expensive, so if you're looking at the cheaper stuff, even Lictors and the Death Leaper are good combos as well. So any of those, any way that you want to go actually will work. So I don't know what the perfect competitive list for Tyranids is, because I never focus on just that. I'm always jumping from thing to thing within the Tyranids. But one thing I've noticed is that everything is pretty fun. Dan123. Matt, first I want to say thank you for all the amazing content that you and your team puts out. Hey, quiet, I'm recording. I was very happy last year to see you guys at Adepticon. Are you guys coming back this coming year? Oh yeah, for sure. If so, do you or any of the guys plan to play in any tournaments? Thanks to Happy Wargaming. Quirk already has signed up for one of the tournaments. So yes, I don't think anybody else is. We are planning on doing a bit more. We'll have our booth again. I think we're going to be running a narrative event and some other stuff as well. So yeah, we're all looking forward to going to Adepticon. And holy cow, that's coming up soon, isn't it? Got to start planning for that. Well, we've already started planning for it. Got to continue planning for it. D-Lust1, Matt, in the videos that Dave is working on for the new building, he mentioned that there is going to be a storefront and that Adam from Greenleaf Terrain are both going to be working out of the same building. Any chance of discounts of these businesses for Vault members? Well, sure. The thing is, the storefront is not going to be online. So while you're there, maybe we could probably work out a deal to get Vault members discounts. In fact, I think that was something we were thinking of. As for Greenleaf Terrain, that's hard to say. I'm not sure if we can offer discounts for that, just because it's not like the margins are huge for that area, but there might be some sort of deal we can work out. But yeah, the store is not going to be online. There's no real place in the building for a warehouse for all the inventory that you would need to sell online as well. So it's just going to be for the people that come into the building. Anubis45, hi Matt. Question, what is basing models? And what to do if you ain't good at that sort of thing? What is basing models? Okay, the two questions put together make me think that you're not just asking what it means to base a model. Like, what it means to base a model is the round or square base that's on the bottom, that you do something to make it so it's not just black or solid color, like you'd put some dirt instead of grass or some sort of scenic thing. What to do if you ain't good at that sort of thing? You're asking me about hobby advice? Hi, my name is Matthew. I don't do the painting and basing end of things. So the thing that you should do is to go watch Chris's quick tips, anyone's related to basing, and get ideas there, because I'm sure he's got some good tips. Moki, what is your go-to for relaxing? As a father of 3 or 4? 4 kids, I have 4 kids, and a business owner, I can only imagine little free time you get. You play and call it work, but do you ever just play? My go-to is computer games, I would say. I'm trying to push myself to do more music. I play piano. I have since I was, well, my mother started me in piano lessons when I was 5, and I've played for a very long time. And we do have an electric piano at home and a regular piano at home as well. So I've been wanting to get back into that. Like, I do play on a regular basis for our church choir. So I keep up my talent, but I don't really push it. And so I was thinking of getting into that. But right now, my go-to is computer games. I've actually just recently got back into Skyrim. So that's fun. We've all, and my family's actually gotten into Minecraft. We've figured out with the new Minecraft Bedrock the version that came out just a few months ago, you can actually play together even if you're on an iPad and somebody else is on a computer and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of fun. We've been doing that more. But basically the kids are in bed by 8 and my brain is pretty much mush by that point. So it's hard to do anything that requires more brain power than like watch TV or play a computer game. So I'd say that's usually my fallback at this point. Mylin, Matthew, what do you think is the future of sponsored content on MiniWarGaming? Personally, I've really loved the Ethereum coverage and actually bought some myself and have been playing the game because of you all. Frankly, I'd love to keep seeing Ethereum content on your site, but my assumption is that it will go away once the planned content is finished. That is, I'm assuming, correct, unless they come back and continue wanting to purchase more. Any chance we'll see more Ethereum down the road, or even more general sponsored content lead to, or even more general will sponsored content lead to new shows? The current plan that we have, that we're slowly working into, I think it'll start to take off more this year once we start going to events, is basically there's a lot of games out there that we'd love to cover, but we just can't financially because we don't make any money off of covering them. And it won't get people into the MiniWarGaming Vault, which is our primary revenue source. And despite what people say, we do have to focus on what makes us money, otherwise we would go out of business and we wouldn't be able to cover anything. That's why we focus so much on Games Workshop, in particular Warhammer 40K. But we really want to cover the other games, so we had the idea a while ago, and we finally implemented it in the past few months, to hire somebody to be an advertising manager, contact these smaller companies and say, hey, would you be willing to pay to have us make some content for your games? And that way they get good coverage of their games, and we hope that they'll see the value from us doing that as well. We've been doing the Painting Partner Program now for over 4 years, and the majority of painters see a huge value in exchanging. In this case, they exchange the actual services for the advertising, but in the end, they're taking the time that they could have used for other clients, and in exchange we make a video for them, and then they get a lot of business from that. So this is just kind of extending that into this area. It's a lot more complicated than just working with painters, obviously. But yeah, we've had Ethereum, we've had a few other, and we have a few more now in the works as well. So you're going to see more of that. We're going to be giving it a good go for at least a year, so you should see us really pushing it in 2018 and more sponsored content. Will that sponsored content then lead to new shows? Like, for example, if we covered a game like Ethereum, would it then lead to us doing it just regularly? Well, there's one of two ways that that could happen. One is that the company is just so happy with the results that they come into some sort of contract and say, we'll pay you this much every month for you to make this many videos every month. I hope that that happens with a bunch of games, because then it'll provide us a regular source of income in that area and also allow us to cover those games continually. The other way it could happen is if when we do the game, it's so popular that we give it a shot to do the whole free vault kind of thing, where we do free content and vault content for that, but we don't charge the company at all to do those. By that point, we'd have the miniatures already, or at least some of them, so that could happen. I don't know. It's all a big experiment. Either way, whatever we do has to make us money for the most part. Like, there's occasional things that we do just for fun, but we can't. I think the majority of our content has to be focused on what'll make us money, because that's what keeps us in business. And so I really can't say. My hope is that what'll happen is both of those things. One, we'll find certain key games that become very popular, and we're able to just do it because it gets us vault members, because that gets us vault more, that puts more value into the MiniWarGaming vault for our current members and for future members as well. And the other thing I hope is that certain companies, especially some of the bigger ones, will just be like, here's X number of dollars every single month for you to cover this many, this much of our game, and to do this, all these things kind of go into an ongoing contract with some of these to cover their game. So I'm hoping both of those things will happen. Time will tell. Mylen, another question. What up, Matthew? My name is Luther Kroger. So obviously this was first because they get randomized. I am an activist and fallen enthusiast. Over the past few weeks, I have been in a state of deep despair, and hearing the news that Dark Angels are still trying to outlaw Fallen in the Emperor of Mankind's domain. I am here determined to stop this future atrocity? Atrocity? Is that what you meant? There's an X in there. My first introduction to the Fallen came when the captain of my squad and water polo team, Boomer Kingsley, asked me to shotgun a tall can of Loyalist Dark Angels in front of the whole squad at his end of the campaign bash. The superiors were in terror at the time, so we tore that weekend up. It was like epic 40k, and I was super stoked. My newfound confidence gave me the courage to ask the most popular robe maker in the chapter, Lauren Stockholder, for a new cloth. She rejected me, and I had to go with Stacy McMillian. But I didn't care because I was so amped on slaying true heretics, in other words, Dark Angels, with my boys. That's what Fallen do. I feel like those names mean something. I just don't know what they do. Are they people you know, or are they people in the books I just haven't read? It's been hard for me to keep up with all the lore that's been coming out with all these new codexes. That's hilarious. Very nice. Very nice. The Crook 88. Matt, what happened to the 3D generated boards you were doing with Adam from Greenleaf Terrain? Were they too hard to make or maintain? The city one and the sand one you have are very cool, so why did you not make more? You're amazing. Well, thank you. No, they're great. I think it was a success. We just, Adam's one guy, and we always have other projects for him to do. And we keep getting new mats from like Game Mat and from the Fat Mats, obviously, from Table War and Urban Mats and other ones as well. And we want to showcase them because that's why they sent it to us. And it's also, I like variety, and so the mats are easier to use than the 3D terrain, but we still do use those 3D boards occasionally as well. But there's only like the desert one, the urban one, and the forest one. So it's just like using the three same tables over and over again. So we just need more of them. That's what it comes down to. But right now we're kind of on hold for that because we have all sorts of other stuff that Adam's working on for us. But yeah, I still think they're a success. There's some improvements that can be done on the process of making them, but overall, I think that could prove really successful. There's just so many gaming mats coming out, and they are really nice. And they do provide a nice backdrop for the games that works too. Having said that, we are starting to work on some plans for a couple of epic 40k tables and a couple of epic Age of Sigmar tables. Working with just getting the stuff for that and making some really cool terrain out of that. And that'll probably involve custom building some of the boards as well. Callan Rivers, hey Matt, will the Sisters of Battle be getting a codex soon, and will there be any plastic minis coming out in 2018? Love the channel, thanks to everyone. Don't know, can't say. But I heard that every time somebody asks that, the clock gets reset. So if somebody from Games Workshop is watching this, then you've just reset the clock again. Sorry to say. Nalpat, Hey Matt, happy holidays and things. Thank you, you too. I love your interviews with Games Workshop. You did a great job with that. Thank you. It was fun. Did you get a chance to ask them about rules as intended, re-rolls before modifiers? Well, they came out with the FAQ. I didn't ask them that, but they did come out with the FAQ to clarify how that works. And it is, unfortunately, the way it's written. I cannot believe that they intended not being able to re-roll all misses because you have a -1 modifier to hit. Please say it ain't so. I think it's just something we have to accept. Age of Sigmar has it, 40K has it. I agree. I think it's clunky because it's hard to explain. Like once you understand it, it's not too hard, but it's like, how do you explain to somebody? It's like, no, that 3 you rolled is actually a hit. They're like, well, no, it's -1, so I need 4s. Like, you're right, you do need 4s, but modifiers are after rerolls. So that 3 before the reroll is technically a hit. Then you re-roll the 4, 5s, or the 1s and 2s, and then we apply the modifier, and then all the 3s become a miss, which you don't get to re-roll because we've already re-rolled, but you didn't re-roll those dice. It's super clunky. It would be way easier to just be like, you re-roll, like, the modifier is before. Like, that's as simple as that. I know there was certain reasons for that, especially with the pluses, but you can just, it's not too hard to write in a way that makes more sense, the way that people think it would be. Also, my hopes and dreams is for you to do Maelstrom Tau again someday. You make them interesting to play for some reason. Or make Steve play them. I think he could pull off some disgusting stuff with the fish people. Maelstrom Tau. Oh, Maelstrom of War, or like the missions with Tau. Stay thunderful. Thank you, Nullpot. Can't tell you when I'll be doing Tau again. Just don't know. Captain Snick Daka. Dancing Matman. I can't say it enough. Great job on the This Is Not a Test campaign. Thank you. Thanks to you guys, I am now more hooked on it than 40K. Any more plans in the future involving This Is Not a Test? We actually had a plan, and still do, for Season 2, that we were supposed to start filming back in December. It just didn't work out. Things got too hectic, and I wasn't able to do it. So we still have a plan to do that. There is a new Fallout Miniatures game coming out 2 or 3 months from now, and I want to cover that. So I want to try to get the This Is Not a Test campaign done before that. I know Dave is enthusiastic to do it. He loved the first one. We'll probably do it very similar to how the first season worked, with some minor tweaks, and obviously changing the story or setting or something. Yeah, we even have new terrain for it and everything. So, and I even got a model made. Where is it? I don't know if you're going to really be able to see it because it's not painted yet. I got it done at Hero Forge. But it's Beverly. If you remember Beverly from the first one, he'll be coming back with this. This is, yeah, there we go. I think that's the best we're going to get. And his power armor and his mohawk and his plasma pistol and a crowbar. I'm not going to tell you too much about the story, partly because I don't actually know too much about the story yet. Well, but we'll get there. We'll get there. But yeah, we are planning on covering it more. We had a lot of fun with it. And so we want to. Thanks for being such awesome content producers, and don't listen to those negative trolls on the interwebs. Also, never stop dancing. Well, thank you. Yeah, it's tough. Internet comments can be a little nasty. The thing I'd have to remind myself of is even the biggest blockbuster movies, they have, the bigger they are, the more negative trolls there are that talk about them. So we just have to make sure that we're doing stuff that gets views and gets vault signups, and that's really what determines if it's success or not. Right. Big Mikey, Matt. First off, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, etc., etc. Sorry, give me 1 second. Thank you, you too. Since your trip to Games Workshop headquarters, can we expect some more collaboration videos from you guys and Games Workshop? I'm sure you can expect that, yes. Also, did you learn anything new from your trip in terms of filming? Thanks for all you guys do. Filming, not so much, because they don't do much in the terms of filming. Like, they do their live show, which I was already familiar with how they do that. We were able to see behind the scenes of how they do their painting tutorials. Much beefier setup than what we have, but that's because that's what they do. They put a lot more hours per tutorial into it. They're also a bit bigger of a company, so they're able to throw more money into things like that. But so yeah, there's little tidbits we were able to walk away with, but they're not a video production company by any stretch. Not that they couldn't be. I'm sure they have the money and that they could build that up, but no, not really. Thanks for all you guys do. Thank you, Big Mikey. Anubis45, hi Matt. When did you go to Warhammer World, and can you remember what day you were on Twitch with Warhammer TV? It was in November, and I was on Twitch with them on the Wednesday and Thursday and the Friday. Right? Hold on, it's on my calendar. Month. Go back December. Yeah, Games Workshop trip was November 13th to the 18th. So we were there from the 14th to the 17th. And I think I was definitely doing my beat map at rep with them on the 17th. And Necromunda was on the Thursday, I want to say, so the 16th. And Dave and I were on it on the 16th. Actually, no, he was on it the 17th too. He was commentating for my beat map at rep. Where do we go? Where do we go? WB Freak 57. Matt, with the addition of all the new games being showcased, is there a chance to see some of the old games coming back? You mean like Infinity and War Machine? Yeah, hopefully. Like, if they were willing to pay for it, 100%. If not, then maybe. It just depends on what we're able to get into, as I talked about already when it comes to the sponsored content. Anarchy 33. Hi Matt, just started watching Blue Collar Heresy, and it's amazing. What kind of or things inspire you to write a story for narratives and RPGs and tabletop? There's not one singular thing. I try to give myself as much time as possible to come up with the ideas for it. So I'll write some ideas and make sure I'm not just writing the day before for all the ideas, because I'll find that I'll get more ideas as I'm watching TV shows or reading books or playing computer games. I get ideas everywhere. Just take inspiration from anything. Anytime an idea pops in my mind, I make sure to write it down because I will forget it. So it's just a matter of kind of constantly being inspired by all sorts of different places. So there's not one thing that I can say is the place I go for inspiration. It's more that just things I happen to come across that give me ideas. Keep up the awesome work and happy wargaming. Thank you, Anarchy 33. How are we doing for time? Oh, we still have a little more than 4 minutes. About halfway through all the comments, so I might not have a full 30 minutes in the vault. Not sure, depends. The Danish Viking Alex. Hey Matt, thank you for lots of awesome content. I really enjoyed the Death Watch campaign. Please let there be a season 2. We plan on doing it. We don't have a timeline for it, but there's plans that it would be done. I have some questions about future content. First of all, I am really looking forward to watch Blue Collar Heresy. I really like the role-playing element, but how will this affect the content you usually produce? Since I joined as a Vault member earlier this year, I guess it is that between 3 to 5 videos get uploaded every day. With a new focus on role-playing and sponsored videos, will there be less 40K battle reports? No, that is not our plan. In fact, there might even be an increase, but we'll just see. And don't gauge the past couple weeks on that. There was holidays and stuff, so we had to decrease. No, the goal with the role-playing stuff, the role-playing is not a new focus on role-playing. It's we're experimenting with it. So, and if we do focus on it more, it's because it's successful, which means we'll need more resources. We'd hire more people to be able to continue that. We don't have any plans to decrease the amount of content we're doing covering 40K and Age of Sigmar or Fantasy right now. And the same thing when it comes to the sponsored content. People are paying for that, so if we're getting so much sponsored content that we don't have enough manpower to do the 40K, well, that means we're making all that extra money too, so we're able to hire more people in order to do the content. So obviously the amount that we're charging to make the videos makes it so it's profitable when you factor in the cost of the employee. So if we're getting a lot of clients for advertising, that gives us the extra money to hire more content producers. So if anything, it'll increase the amount of everything else that you're looking at. It's kind of like the more Vault members we get, the more free content we put out, because the Vault members provide us money to hire more people, which allows us to do more content, which means the people who are not Vault members, their content is being provided by the Vault members. Will there be longer time between 40K Age of Sigmar narrative campaigns get uploaded, or will this continue on a weekly basis? None of that's projected to change. If it does, if anything, it would be increasing. Merry Christmas and happy wargaming. Good question, though. Good question. Let's do one more question, and then I'll switch over to the Vault. Yeah. Frog Eyes. Hey, Matt. Used to watch you guys way back when. For a player who has recently returned to Warhammer 40K and wishes to defeat my brother at our years-old grud match of Tyrannus versus Necrons. Oh, those are both good armies, so it should be interesting. For the new edition, what would your tips, tactics, and things to consider for list building and strategy to deal with his Necrons? We have played a few games, and I have really struggled against his list and his annoying Tesla. Anyways, thank you in advance if you answer this, and thank you for all the amazing content. Merry Christmas. Okay, one thing that shuts down Tesla is anything gives him minus to hit. He needs a 6+ to get his Tesla off. So if you have something giving him -1 to hit, he can't get his Tesla off. Because if he rolls a 6, it becomes a 5. Unless he's using some buff to give him the +1 like the Overlord. So Venomthropes, like if he's a shooty army, the things to counter shooty army are Venomthropes and Malanthropes, because especially with the way they are now, the Venomthropes being able to actually protect monsters as well if you have them in groups of 6. So it's pretty awesome. Or it's groups of, I don't remember, it's groups of 3 does something, groups of 6 does something. But providing that anti-firepower. The other thing about Necrons is you can't just partially destroy a unit, you've really got to work that unit down. Otherwise, they'll all just be coming back, which is really, really annoying because they get to do that every single turn. So you got to reduce them. If you're going to fire at a squad, fire at that squad and take it down. Don't just put a little bit of firepower here, a little bit there, a little bit there. As for specific units, what'll be good, besides the things like Venomthropes and Malanthropes, provide that -1 to hit. Psychic powers will be great because they don't really have any anti-psychics, so the Zonethropes will be great. Hive Tyrants will be great. Engaging them in close combat can be good. They're a little tough, they're very tough, but they don't have much close combat hitting power. And a lot of the psychic powers will be doing mortal wounds and ignoring all that kind of stuff. So if he's bringing lots of Tesla, then make sure you don't focus on too much in terms of infantry, because that's what Tesla's really good at killing. But Necrons are tough, but they're not unbeatable for sure. And so just make sure you just look up building solid lists, but in this case, Necrons are more shooty, a mid-range shooty army, and so focus on the things that are anti-shooty, and that would be things like I said, with the Venomthropes, and also things like quick-moving units like Gene Stealers to get into combat and just bash them down. And make them all run away from breaking. So that's what I would recommend. Okay, so I've only got 2 more pages out of the 5, and so I'm not sure if it'll be a full 30 minutes in the vault, but we'll see. So you can go ahead and click the link below to go into the vault portion of the Sit and Talk, the Sit and Vault, and I'll answer more of the questions in there. And don't forget to leave your questions in the comments for Josh
and Lee
for next week. Thank you so much. Happy wargaming.